Miss Universe. Do we have that, Tyler? We could pull that tweet up. Miss Universe is insisting that not all people who menstruate are women. That's right. So the tweet says, inclusive language is important, especially when speaking about periods. Thinking menstrual health is only a niche topic for women excludes transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people who have periods from the conversation. Okay. And they hashtag it menstrual equity. Now, if you go into the little boxes on the tweet itself, it says, say this, people who have periods, not this, women who have periods. You can't say women have periods. You have to say people who have periods. Okay. Don't claim, the instructions continued before claiming that not all women menstruate and not all people who menstruate are women. Okay. Say this, productive health, not this, women's health. Look at this. Look at these signs. Oh, reproductive health. So you could say reproductive. Well, guess what? Reproductive health has to do with a woman's body. We'll get there in a second. They actually post. I thought this was a joke when I read it. The original article, I think, was over at Breitbart. I was like, oh, Breitbart, you've gone nuts. You've gone wild. You had too much tequila over the weekend. Something happened here. No, it turns out this is actually, I went to the Twitter feed and I was like, this can't be real. But it is. So let's just point out, women get periods. Women get, listen, if I could pass that torch to a man, it's not fun. It's not fun. I'm not like, woo, period time. If I could pass that torch, believe me, I would. Plus then, guys wouldn't be like, why is she so moody? They would know why. We would get each other. So I would pass the torch. I can't. Periods are a function of having a female biology. End of story. That's not a debate that we need to be having in 2022. All right. Let's move on to something related. Breastfeeding. Okay, now you may think, Jed, what's the controversy here about breastfeeding? I talked to you earlier in the show about breastfeeding. I breastfed my baby. Well, Rainn Wilson, you know Rainn Wilson from The Office? I didn't, but my husband did. He saw this. He was like, oh, Rainn, what happened? This is from The Blaze. Actor Rainn Wilson of The Office fame issued an apology on Thursday saying that he had posted, quote, a mean crack about breastfeeding versus chest feeding. You know where this is going. So the original tweet apparently said TIL, which is today I learned, you can no longer say nursing or breastfeeding mother. You have to say chest feeding person, just FYI. Obviously, he was being like, are you kidding? There was a little bit of like, I can't say breastfeeding anymore. Well, the woke community did not accept that. Did not accept it. So he then went on to apologize in a tweet. It's also at The Blaze. They screenshot it for all of us to see. And it says, yesterday I tweeted a mean crack about breastfeeding versus chest feeding. After speaking with some trans friends and educating myself a bit more, I want to apologize for the tweet. It was adding to misinformation and madness and meanness. I'm sorry. Okay, there's that word again, that misinformation word. Where's the misinformation? A man can't breastfeed. Again, happy to pass that torch. Listen, we could have shared the responsibility. I would have loved if I could have gotten up in the middle of the night, pumped some milk, and then the next night, Jeremy could have gotten up in the middle of the night and pumped some milk. But that was not a possibility because Jeremy can't breastfeed because he's a man. He's a man. So a couple of points here. First of all, again, women get periods, men don't. Women breastfeed, men don't. End of story. I'm not going to entertain this nonsense anymore. That's fact versus fiction. I'm done on that. Secondly, people who apologize for this stuff are a very sad specimen of the population. You wrote that and then you apologize, which means that he probably got so much hate. He's so worried about being canceled. He's like, oh my God, I'm never going to make another TV show again because I said that women breastfeed. I mean, that level of put your tail between your legs and walk away is sad to me. There has to be some stuff that you just stand by. A, you can't crack a joke. You crack a joke, it upsets somebody, you have to retract it. That's dumb. I'm over that too. The death of comedy. We all know what happened with comedy, right? Can't joke about anything anymore. You can't joke about race. You can't joke about anything. Comedy used to make people feel uncomfortable, and people, that's why they were there. To get a little uncomfortable, to laugh at themselves, to laugh at everyone. Not now. Can't do that. Stop apologizing when you're talking about biology and basic facts. You look ridiculous. And I don't care how you identify. Let me be clear. I don't care if you identify as the great and powerful Wizard of Oz, but I'm pretty sure if I ask you, hey, can you help me make my heels click 3 times and return me to Kansas, you're not going to be able to do it. So let's just live in the land of reality. You can call yourself whatever you want, but you can't change fact. Second point, stop taking stuff away from women. Stop taking stuff away from us. My superpower was that I carried a child in my belly. I made him from scratch. Every time my husband does something in the house, I'm like, well, I made a baby from scratch. I built him. I did. I remember going to the doctor and them saying, today you're making his hands and like this month his feet and this month. And I was like, I never felt like such a superhero in my life. You're not taking that away from me because you don't like facts. It's not happening. And stop degrading women too. Chest feeding? No. I'm sorry, I breastfed with my breasts that God gave me, which is why they were created, by the way, to feed a child. And had I been able to do it longer, I would have done it a lot longer. I had a job. That's a whole other guilt complex that I have. Regardless, stop degrading women by taking things away from us. Where's the women's movement on all this stuff? Again, where are they to defend women? So you have to make a decision right now. Do you want to play this game? Or do you not want to play this game? Do you want to play a game where words cease to have meaning across the board? And listen, you give an inch on this, they'll take a mile. Pretty soon we'll have to create a whole other dictionary. Different words, you're not allowed to use this, you're not allowed to say this, or fear of consequence. Or do you want to say truth? Do you want to just say what's true, facts, and let the chips fall where they may? Make a decision. That's up to you. I've clearly made a decision for myself. Now, on this note, we got a little bit of news this week about transgender women swimmers. I don't know if you guys saw this. Loops into this quite well. Being barred from female competitions by FINA. And this is an article from the AP. Is this from the AP? No. It's not from the AP. It's from the Guardian. Tyler was ready to jump in there. He was like, Jed, you got a little too excited about this topic. You mixed your sources. The Guardian, transgender women swimmers barred. Okay, check this out. The decision decided by 71%. Not small, of the vote of 152 national federations at the World Championships in Budapest followed a report from a FINA scientific panel, which found that trans women retained a significant advantage over cisgender female swimmers, or as I say, female swimmers. You don't need just female swimmers, even after reducing their testosterone levels through medication. You don't say. This is not rocket science, people. This is not rocket science. FINA has promised to create a working group to establish an open category for trans women in some events as part of its new... Fine. I don't have a problem with that. You want to have a separate group of whatever. I don't care. Again, you're an adult. You want to do something. Doesn't hurt anybody. You don't ask anyone else to pay for it. Go for it. You want to establish a separate category for trans... Fine. But you don't get to take away from women. You don't get to take away from women who work their butts off to achieve goals in sports. You don't get to take away from women who breastfeed. You don't get to take away, oh, now I can't. I mean, come on, you can't use basic words. Is there anything I'm left to say about my anatomy? Can I say anything safely without getting censored or told that I'm, a bigot anymore? Amazing. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.